Hello everyone. People have been asking me lately about sleeping near crystals. It's come up in a lot of conversation with clients, and then also when I'm at my friends' houses, I'm going into their bedroom and like, why do you have that crystal right by your bedside? How do you sleep? And so I wanted to do just a really quick video and hopefully a blog post about what crystals are good to have by your bedside table. And even some clients are telling me, oh, they're sleeping with certain crystals on their body, like in jewelry, or some people even tuck at their feet, crystals at their feet. And I want to go over what crystals would be good to do that with and what you want to stay away from. And then obviously just having a little bit of insight into the quality of your sleep. We're going to be more intuitive if we get enough sleep and we have good quality of our sleep. And so I just wanted to talk really quickly about that, and also just for you to have awareness around if you're not sleeping well, maybe look at some of the things in your bedroom and your bed and your bedding and the environment. So not only crystals, but I also love feng shui, and some of the feng shui goes really well. So for instance, for where my bedroom is located in the house, white is a great thing to have. And in general, white can promote more sleep, just peace of mind. And so howlite is something that I have this string of beads, and I have it just for feng shui, but it also works really well with the recommendations that I'm going to give you about what crystals are good to have by your bedside or around your bed and what ones not. So let's get started. So first of all, the shape and the quality of the crystal is important as well. Even if you have a really restful crystal, if it is shaped very pointed, if it's a pointed crystal, if it is a arrowhead, if it is a rough crystal, then it's going to be more it's going to be less soothing than if it was a very polished, very round, more round. Egg shape is beautiful. An egg-shaped crystal to have by your bed is beautiful because what are eggs? They're dormant, they're sleepy, they're resting. So it's a beautiful shape to have by your bedside. Try to stay a little bit away from the rough, and I have a great example that's by my desk. And this is great by my desk, but I would never want it by my bedside. And it is a Herkimer diamond, and Herkimer diamonds are really not good for rest. They're really good for the work that I do. So my intuitive work and just being tuned into the astral and being kind of awakened. So it's a great one to have by my desk when I'm feeling sleepy. I kind of get close to it, but it's very rough. Obviously it is, my daughter found this, and it is still in the unpolished rock that we kept it around because I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so, and then another example of not wanting to have by your bedside is something like this, like super pointed, super activating. This is a selenite, and it is activating on its own. You wouldn't want it by your bedside table anyway. And then also, here's another example, like a pointed quartz. This is well, people call it different things, but tangerine quartz. I've also heard it called cantaloupe quartz, or maybe my kids called it that, but I liked it. So it is just a different hue, and it is not a good one to sleep next to, okay? So then let's think about what then other things that you want to look at besides the shape. Not having crystals, so if you have a bed that's off the ground, you do not want crystals underneath your bed, okay? Maybe the only one exception is if you're having bad dreams, or if you've had disrupted sleep, you might want to try out having a polished hematite or obsidian under your bed. So that's something you can try out and see how it works for you. But in general, just staying away from that, keeping under your bed very clear and clean. Okay, and then let's see what else I was talking about. So any crystals that hang over your bed, I mean, it's pretty rare, but if I am someone who, loves making mobiles and things that hang down, and so you wouldn't want that to be over your bed, okay? Or even a dream catcher. If you have a dream catcher, but it has really activating stones in it, you're gonna wanna think twice about having it near your bed. So I'm gonna go over the ones that are good, and then you can make your own dream catcher, which might have to be a whole other video about making dream catchers. But that has more of those soothing polished stones on it, okay? So anything that activates your higher chakras, your crown chakra, your third eye, and even I would say your fifth chakra just might be a little bit too activating to get into a soothing sleep pattern, okay? So anything that activates those higher chakras, which includes amethyst, which a lot of people say to sleep by, and it's not a great one to sleep by, especially if it's a rough amethyst stone, okay? So also just keep it simple. Like in general, by your bed, you don't want like a whole grid necessarily. Now, if it is a sleepy time grid that you've really worked on, then that might be different. But just in general, keep it simple, keep it minimal. Yeah, and then definitely just looking at the shapes and the quality of the stone, right? Okay, so here are some ones that are good to sleep by, okay? So I think we should just focus on that. So rose quartz is a great one, especially if it's very polished, a very polished rose quartz. I would say even better would be a round shape or an egg shape. Sorry, my heater went on. And staying a little bit more away from, like I have some of these rose quartz that are not very polished and kind of pointy. You wouldn't necessarily want those as much as you would very smooth and polished, okay? So again, the shape is very important, but rose quartz is a good one. Another good one is black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is very protective. It's a protective stone. It's very soothing. And I love my crystal Bible. If you guys have a crystal book that you love, please share it in the comments. I love learning more crystal books, and someday I hope to have my own crystal book that goes along with astrology, but for now, I just love learning about different books that are out there, so share in the comments if you have a great one. This one's great, so you can look up the stone, and I was just looking about black tourmaline because I wanted to make sure before I told you guys that it would be good to have by the bedside. And of course now I'm not going to find where it was, but it was just talking about being a very protective stone and a very calming the nervous system stone, and that's always good. You want to think of calming and soothing and protective when you're thinking about what to sleep by. Hematite is another great one. This is especially true if you have trouble falling asleep because of pain in the body, inflammation. Hematite is probably the best stone if you are dealing with inflammation to wear on your physical body. I just cleaned off my desk. I had a whole, where did I put it? Oh, I know. I had a whole thing because I have, you know, my kids love playing with this too because it's magnetic. So as long as your kids are old enough, it's a great fun thing. They come up with games. I have all these beads that were on a necklace that they broke, but now they create their own little game with. But if you have a necklace or a bracelet, probably a bracelet is probably best to sleep with because it doesn't interfere too much with the throat. But that's a great one. For hematite is a great one for sleeping next to, and especially if you deal with pain or your inflammation and you're having trouble sleeping because of it. I'm not going to remember the name of this one. I'm going to have to post it in the comments, but it begins with an S, and it's another one that's really great, especially if you struggle with headaches or deal with, you feel like you're kind of dealing with too much, like, what are those called? Those EFMs, like the frequencies that are from computers and stuff. This is a great one. This is becoming a long video, so I'm going to try and wrap it up. But this is a great one. I'll post what it is in the comments because now I'm bummed that I didn't write down exactly which one this was. But it begins with an S, and it is, they used it in to clean the water. It's very filtering. It's kind of like charcoal in a sense, but it's kind of a softer stone, and so that's another reason why it's a great one to sleep by, and it's usually get it polished. So that's a good one, and I will post it in the comments. And jade is another great one. If you guys haven't heard of jade eggs, I'm gonna have to do a whole other video on jade eggs and jade eggs for women's health and well-being, and yoni eggs. And so jade is a very beautiful stone. It's very discerning, so it's helpful for discernment and also just health and well-being, but it's also very restorative. So it is a good one, especially if it's shaped like an egg, to have near your bed. I would say the best, and the best are the ones that I went over the first are rose quartz, black tourmaline, or hematite. That's great. You can keep it there. But if you wanted to have jade or howlite, this is the howlite. It's that white stone. And red jasper is another one. If you are particularly dealing with a lot of overthinking or overactive mind, it brings you down to the lower chakras. I would say it's very nourishing. So if you're someone who just struggles with sleep and struggles with an overactive mind, it might be a good one to try out. And it won't work for everybody, because some people find it, especially kind of go-getters that work with the physical body, might find it too activating. They might notice that they're not resting as much. So it depends on your personality, but you could try red jasper. And so the ones to stay away from are any of the activating one, any clear quartz, any anything. The shape is important, and then the other one is that a lot of people are told to sleep by is amethyst, and I would just stay away from that unless it's very polished and you've been sleeping well with it in the past. A lot of people talk about, well, astral travel, you want to like activate that when you're sleeping. No, you don't. You don't need to activate that because you're sleeping. You can activate that when you're meditating or when you're in your daily life. But when you're sleeping, you are already astrally traveling. You want to have a restful body, and that's what we really need to focus on. A lot of spiritual types aren't focusing enough on body health and body nourishment, and so we really want to focus on that, and the rest just takes care of itself on its own. You are a spiritual being having a physical experience, so we got to take care of that physical experience. All right, everybody, this is Abigail Borrella with Sparkle and Shine Guidance. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them down below, and I'm available at my website, abigailborrella.com, for astrological readings, intuitive coaching, and I have a 5-week coaching program called Sparkle and Shine Success, and we definitely talk about crystals and talk about what crystals are best for you to activate that. So have a great day. Bye.